right now, what is the outlook globally and domestically? Let's talk about that. Okay, so the IMF every year comes out with a forecast, always in January, for the global economic outlook. So we just got their latest forecast a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday, in fact. And as you can see, the IMF, like so many prognosticators, is not all that good a forecaster. Okay, if you look back at what they've been forecasting, look at the blue line for global GDP growth back in 2011, forecasting nearly 5% growth for the global economy, and then revised downward in 2012, and then revised downward, and then revised downward, and then revised downward. So, you know, it's tough to get this stuff right? But the trend has been downward revision after downward revision. My deficit, again, is 10 trillion. The domestic private sector has a surplus of 3 trillion. The rest of the world has a surplus of 7 trillion. Has a surplus of 7 trillion. Okay? So what does that look like in the real world? Looks like this. This is actual data, not made up, phony sort of stuff. First thing you notice, this picture is a perfect mirror image. If you fold the top half of the graph down onto the bottom half, the whole thing collapses at the zero line. Everything nets to zero, okay? These are net financial assets. If you guys trade, if that's a Ford instead of a Mercedes, and he's the Ford manufacturer, and you decide you want to buy a new F-150 for your husband, and you go over there and take the car and you pay him, nothing happens in that graph because because you're just trading intra-sector, not inter-sector, so nothing happens. So, again, there are other options. It's not just about monetary policy, but we've been reluctant to talk about the other option. The other option is the F word, right? It's the word that nobody wanted to utter for a long period of time. Fiscal policy. It's fiscal policy, right? But it's been like, don't say the F word. It's the Fed's job. The Fed will fix it. Just, you know, we're elected members of Congress. We have to run again. We have to raise a bunch of money. We can't talk about, you know, tax and spend stuff for the economy. We just leave that to the Fed, and not my problem.